Hello, this is Cedric with Wall Street Insight. Is anyone there?
Yes, this is Calvin. I'm here.
Hey, Calvin, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
All right. I believe Ryan was supposed to be on the call tonight.
Who is? Ryan? Yes, that's me. I'm here.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Thanks for asking.
All right. Glad to have you guys. Well, as you know, I just wanted to give you guys a call because you are actually familiar with the SuperVantage technology. Once again, my name is Cedric Burrell, and I'm the Chief Moderator for Wall Street Insight. And tonight we're here with Ryan and Calvin. Both of these gentlemen are seasoned and talented financial professionals who've had direct exposure to the performance of the SuperVantage.
Okay.
We are here to listen to what they have to say about the new system and the claims the developer is making over at the SuperVantage. First off, Ryan, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your work experience, etc.? If you could do that, it'd be greatly appreciated.
I've been in the workforce since I was 15. Typical, fast food restaurant, security, overnight, and then I started doing administrative work for a local dairy called Belda Farms, and that's kind of when my interest in the economies and stuff like that started to pick up. And then I went from that to a warehouse manager dealing with retail freight. And basically, long story short, from there, I had a family friend who was in the business for a long time, and I just basically knocked on his door until he gave me a shot. And then we kind of closed that firm down. I went to go work for Morgan Stanley for a while. And after my stint at Morgan Stanley, I started to trade currencies, and maybe about a year or so later, I met Warwick through a friend.
Oh, okay. So you've basically been in the financial industry for a while. You enjoy trading currencies
since about 2004, yeah.
Okay, great. Calvin, you also tell me a little bit about yourself as well, if you could.
Well, I've been in the finance business for a while. Worked on Wall Street for about 6 years. I did pretty well. I've raised a lot of money for some companies that you see out there now. One of them is actually Facebook. Quite a few others. This industry has basically a advantage that I'm basically looking forward to taking advantage of course, with the Vantage situation. But I've been around the block for a while, so I knew the ins and outs. Okay,
great. So okay. You guys are seasoned professionals. Let me ask you this: how long have you actually been following the SuperVantage performance, Ryan? Let me state that question to you that way. How long have you actually been following them?
Since about early 2009, and I've seen this program work with accuracy, as the market was bottoming in March of 2009, and bad news is good news, as a good news is bad news environment, when we were all screaming for recovery and we started getting 6% GDP for that whole one quarter. Global turmoil, flash crash, the earthquake in Japan, and with all the ups and downs in between, and the accuracy of this program is just unreal. It doesn't matter what the environment is, we'll always find the action.
Interesting. Calvin, if you can tell me a little bit about your experience with the SuperVantage performance and how long you have been following it, it'd be great to hear that as well.
Well, I've been following this the SuperVantage program for quite a while, for about 2 years. I basically put it head-to-head with myself as far as stock picks, with myself, my decisions, and also some of the top analysts here on Wall Street because of my relations. So, I mean, it worked pretty well. I mean, we're not, the system is not perfect. Nothing is. But if you're talking about an 80% return, I mean 80%, of accuracy, I think that's better than that's almost like almost like predicting the future. But this is a system that survived during horrible times, from my experience, of course, with Europe, and also the rise of oil. I don't know if you remember, and also the whole subprime situation was also an issue, and the system actually worked as far as picking up trend and also taking in as far as market acceleration and market sentiment as well. So, it's been there, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm here on the phone, because this is a system I truly believe in. I use a lot of different systems, worked with a lot of different analysts, and I think with the way society's going, the way the market, the industry is going, this is something that could it's something that you can use to hedge, of course, with human error.
Okay, so both of you all have actually had some good exposure with the SuperVantage and seen some great things with it, I see. And that's the main reason over here at Wall Street Insight I want to actually do this interview and try to get a good grip on, what financial professionals that have been working with the SuperVantage have seen. We over here, we also really want to know about the 80% accuracy claim the developer is making. Now that's kind of arrogant to me. I don't want to sound too derogatory about it. But when you say 80% accuracy, that's just way over the top. Ryan, what's your take on this claim?
Actually, it's 80% is fully accurate. Sometimes we do even better. And I know for most people that seems kind of outrageous, but you can't fight raw data, and we have the data to back it up. In fact, even 80%, is light. Sometimes we've had 90+% runs, and we're looking forward to many more like it. And honestly, 80% is really over the top. A while ago, when I first started working with Warwick, a friend of me asked if the program we have is so good, why doesn't Lloyd Blankfein and Jamie Dimon have one sitting in their office? My answer to him was they probably have 3 or 4. Bank earnings on the prop trade side were always strong, and how many quarters in the row did various banks have a zero, no losing days on their trading desks? It's because of technology like what we have access to, and institutions and the average investors, we're offering it to them to be able to have a leg up on, the big dogs, because believe me, the top dogs in these firms, they'll sit on their black boxes as long as possible to keep their edge. So, 80%, I know it sounds arrogant, but when you see 90+% runs, it seems even less far-fetched.
Calvin, is that your same take on it? Do you feel that same way? What's your take on the 80% accuracy claim?
You're talking Calvin, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you say 80% just create, of course, some sort of comfortability, because a lot of people don't believe it, and this is something I've been tracking, and it's been proven, time and time, and I've made my clients money. It's, sometimes they don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from the system. And I strongly think, this will be a good way if you're on Wall Street and, you have clients out there and things are not working so well because there's a lot of stocks that are going down for an enormous amount of reasons. This is something that I think I personally think it can help, because it's not a fortune teller or anything like that, but it puts you in the right track. This is why you're capable of making 80% accuracies, 90% accuracies, because it gives you the opportunity to. At the end of the day, you make the decision whether you're going to buy or not, or trust the system or not. But I've tried this with firsthand with my personal account and also some of my clients, and it has performed, and of course outperformed as well. And in 80%, I think that's just a fair percentage that as far as looking forward into taking advantage of the machine. I think that's something you should look forward to as far as the return.
Now, Kevin, hold that thought. The developer has also claimed the system regularly scores returns that most would consider off the chart. Let me ask you this. What have you all seen in returns generated by the SuperVantage? Can you talk about that?
As far as the percentages, or?
Yeah, he claims the system regularly scores returns that most would consider off the chart. What type of returns have you seen generated by the SuperVantage?
There was a time when the tobacco or the situation happened in Europe, when the little debt crisis these guys had, and at the time we were basically shorting some of the European markets, and it's really a no-brainer. If things are going down, if you're in a business and you're a cowboy, you'll take advantage of something's going down, something naturally, and this is something that I seen the machine do as well, and it was actually in the same path, not necessarily the same stocks, but also, mostly the same sector. So the returns I've seen is incredible. We're talking about, when you're buying some of these ETFs or some of these picks, you're talking about 30, 40, 50, or even at one time it was about 110% return, just because the machine picked the right ETF or some type of system that a normal person, somebody normally without any help would not understand or maybe even consider looking into it, and the machine has done it. So this is a system that I personally think can give you a peace of mind, especially if you're, at times like this when money's tight with some of these investors, because they have been taking big losses the past couple of years, and I think and from my experience, the machine has regenerated a lot of that capital back into their accounts, and it has done it numerous of times. And we're talking about from 10% returns to 80% returns to, like I said, even over 120% returns, and it has done it, and I've witnessed it.
Calvin, can you give me some insight on the type of returns you've seen to echo what Calvin is saying, or have you seen things differently than him?
Well, I have too many to count because I'm the one that I do all the chart work, so I get the lists every day. So, but I mean, just some that stick out to me would be, on the short-term side would be Intermune, ITMN, that went from 12 to 45, NVIDIA, NVDA, 8 to 18, Java Holdings, JVA, 13 to 30, and even recently, Dynavax went from 460 down to 250, obviously a short call, and Zynga from 6 to 225, another short call. Now, on the long term, stocks that stick out to me when we first get them that I follow over time, you could take a look at something like Tier 1 Imports. We were trading it at $8. Now it's over 20. VMware, we were getting in the mid-50s. It went as high as 110. Baidu, which is everybody's favorite cousin of Google, that went from 68 to 135. And BEXT, 14 to 27, and that was eventually bought out.
Okay, gotcha, guys. And I see where you're going with this. And forgive me if I jump in here. I know you guys' time is limited, but I did want to try to get these questions answered. And I kind of feel where you're going with that. Now, one of the things that the developer claims, the only thing better than the SuperVantage is to somehow get the Wall Street Journal quote page a couple of days ahead of time. Now, we all know that's impossible. And I know that the developer is that's him jokingly his way of saying the system accuracy is supposedly unrivaled, okay? Now, to me, this also sounds like a big stretch. And what is your opinion on the grandiose claim? I mean, is the system really that accurate? I guess that's what I'm really trying to get answered here. Ryan, if you could give me your take on that.
Yeah, in fact, and like I mentioned before, I'm the chief technician. I do all of the chart work. And, Warwick and we use completely different metrics when it comes to evaluating any given position. And we're so rarely in disagreement. To me, that's a testament to how completely, using two completely different disciplines, disseminating the same information and coming to the same conclusion, that kind of proves the potency and accuracy of the system.
Well, let me ask you this. How long do you all think this can go on? The market changes all the time. As you know, I know, the developer knows this. Many top financial professionals will say every stock system breaks down sooner or later. What do you all say about that? I mean, Calvin, what's your take on that?
As far as the first question or the second question?
Well, yeah, how long do you think this can go on?
I think this can go on for quite a while. I mean, it's not like something it's illegal. I think as more and more regulation comes in, of course, we probably will evolve as far as where the system is going. But this thing could last a very, very long time, as long as you hear the New York Stock Exchange becoming hybrid and the Nasdaq becoming fully electronic. It just put us directly in the ball game, because now we're able to keep up and as far as speed and access and accuracy and of course market sentiment. I think this is the best machine for it. But I think this thing could last a very long time, just as long as regulation doesn't get in the way, we're not doing anything wrong, and it should last a very long time.
Ryan, many top financial professionals say every stock system breaks down sooner or later. Give me your thoughts about that.
Well, considering since when I started following it, we've had so many bipolar and binary markets, and we're still able to outperform and keep our percentages within or exceeding our expectations. To me, that kind of says it all. The program couldn't care less what the catalyst to move any particular instrument is. It just seeks out the actions and finds it over and over again. That tells me the program is resilient in any market environment, short of zero shares being traded for over a year or so. The program will always take you where you need to be, up, down, flat. It'll find the action. So honestly, I don't really see an end date for what we're doing, because in the past 5-6 years alone, we've had probably 18 different market conditions to go through. So, and I'm being a little hyperbolic using the number 18, but the market changes all the time, and it just keeps adapting. Because I think honestly, what moves most stocks in one direction or another in a powerful way, I don't think that formula will ever change, because it's always going to be supply and demand.
Any things or incidents in particular that stand out in your mind about the SuperVantage that made you a believer? Ryan, can you answer that?
Well, really the first trades I started looking at when we did our first live demo, going through the lists and looking at the charts simultaneously, starting to see what the program was seeking out, at least to my eyes, all the technical sore thumbs like capitulation, support resistance breakouts, breakdowns, wedge patterns, Fibonacci retracement levels, double tops, bottoms, head and shoulder reverse, and popping processes. And it seems to utilize it all. And in our program, there's no pattern recognition. So seeing that, the indicators that most technicians would be looking for in trade get repeated over and over and over again, that convinced me that we had something truly extraordinary here.
Calvin, what drawbacks or weaknesses, if any, do you all see in the SuperVantage system?
Well, of course, being depending on it, that's a drawback, because the system, as far as declines on account value with my clients, it's totally opposite direction. It's been going up. The only thing that I could see a drawback is maybe something, SEC or something. There's a rule that comes out and I guess makes you not want to use the system. But after that, I don't see any drawbacks. I make my clients money. They're all happier, and my sales team, my staff, they all love it. The brokers that are under me, they love it, and I feel a way about it, because we're good now, but when I first started, I didn't have the system, so I didn't have the luxury of making a lot of money for my clients like I am now. So the only drawback is, I guess, the kids or the staff I have working under me they really don't know how it is to I guess, to fail in a situation. But it's still a good thing. At least it helps out my clients, and of course helps out what we're doing here at Vantage Advisors as a business.
All right, guys, if you could give some parting advice to the individual investor as well as the financial professional that may be listening here at Wall Street Insight, what would that be, Ryan?
Be open-minded. Go through the data. Make your own judgments. Just don't outright dismiss our claims because we have the intestinal fortitude to put ourselves out there and offer a product that has been basically institutional access only for everybody to take advantage of. And just don't seek the path of least resistance, and that's what we have in this program. And just remember also, just because something that has not been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. You'd ask the right brothers that. So that's my parting advice.
Sure. Calvin, what about you?
Well, my advice is, try it out. Give it a test run. Don't be scared of trying new things. And my advice is, if it works out, use it with your clients. Use it for yourself. Spread the word, because this is something that is very innovative. I personally think is one of a kind. I'm working on Wall Street right now. It's a very small community, and this is something that's very unheard of. So I personally think if you miss this opportunity after it becomes presented to you, the next person will definitely take advantage of it, and you're going to miss out, and you're going to see it, and you might lose business. And I strongly think you should at least give it a benefit of the doubt and give it a shot. See for yourself. I've done it. I'm pretty sure. Ryan has done it. A lot of people have done it, and we're all satisfied. So just give it a shot. Try something. Don't be afraid to try something new. especially with this type of system that I believe that it works and has been proven.
Okay, well, once again, Ryan, Roche, and Calvin Vaval, we'd like to thank you over here at Wall Street Insight for taking the time to actually give us your insight on the SuperVantage technology.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Cedric Burrow from Wall Street Insight, to the streets and everything in between. I'd like to end this call, and once again, thank you, and all good night.
Thank you.
Good
Good night.